We are so pleased to welcome McGill University to our family of sponsors. It's so important for young women to know that there are many educational institutions ready to welcome them to the aviation and aerospace industries. Your program shows presenter, Associate Dean Dr. Carmen Cecilia in there, but fortunately the Dean was able to be here. So we are now very pleased to introduce Dr. Carola Weil, Dean of the School of Continuing Studies. Dr. Weil.
Thank you very much, Joy. Good evening, and thank you. I am so honored to be here among such amazing talent, such inspiring women. I'm here not because of any expertise in aviation. I leave that to all of you out there. But because, like so many of you, I have spent much of my career trying to break down barriers to the opportunities of full citizenship and healthy civil societies. When I was little, I was going to be an archaeologist / ballerina / oceanographer / astronaut, all at the same time. I wasn't everybody at that point. Growing up as a child in the 60s, I remember being glued to the television watching missions to the moon. But then I discovered I had to know math and I had to know sciences. And that dissuaded me, and there was no one there at that time to make me think otherwise. So I ended up in the social sciences. Not so bad, but that's where I ended up. But I did follow a path that was somewhat non-traditional. I went into international security at a time when few women were active in the field. Why? In part because of a woman mentor, and more on that later. Eventually, I helped found and run an organization dedicated to the advancement of women in international security in non-traditional careers, just like many of the women that are represented here tonight. Not because women were necessarily more peaceful than men or thought differently than men, but because we constituted 50% of the global population by then and had a right and an obligation to be at the table in equal proportions. That was in the 80s and 1990s. Since then, we have also learned that diversity enhances decisions and outcomes of all kinds. We get better results from more diverse leadership and teams. We are now at another critical pivot point with regard to the future of society and the future of work. A recent study by Deloitte highlighted 7 key disruptors in the workplace: the omnipresence of technology, the increasing lifespan of humans, AI, cognitive computing and robotics, greater job insecurity due to automation, but also tremendous demographic and geographic shifts with far greater diversity than ever before. The explosion of data and of contingent work, i.e. the gig economy. Aviation is not exempt from these disruptors. Moreover, there are challenges specific to this industry. For example, we must develop new solutions to ensure sustainability and environmental stewardship of emissions. Geopolitical and socioeconomic anxieties abound. The resourcing of skilled roles is becoming a primary concern. The aviation infrastructure is in need of reinvestment. Aviation human capital, so crucial and so well represented here in this room tonight, is in need of greater interest and greater involvement, greater engagement. Aviation leadership is in need of world-class managers of change. And that is one of the major reasons why we need more women in aviation, to lead change. Aviation, unfortunately, lags behind many economic sectors in gender parity. Less than 5% of CEOs are women, and those numbers have not changed significantly since the early 2000s. Only 3 to 5% of pilots are women, and we're delighted to see so many young women here who are thinking about that as a career. COOs, legal counsels, COIs, cargo chiefs, less than 3.5% of these positions are filled by women. The Canadian Royal Air Force, 18.7% of the Air Force are women. And that's actually a great statistic because it puts them only second behind the Canadian Navy. Only 6% of technical positions in aviation are filled by women. And the Board of Governors of IATA, which represents 290 airlines and 82% of global air traffic, still has only one woman, yes, one woman, Ms. Christine Ormière-Widener, Chief Executive Officer of Flybe Limited, a British airline, on its board. While there are some regional bright lights among corporate boards in Europe, for example, women are noticeably underrepresented among corporate boards, particularly in North America, I'm sorry to say. This is not just about adding numbers to the mix. It is about working smarter. It is about working more effectively. We know that gender diversity correlates highly with greater efficiencies and revenues. It is, in fact, good for the bottom line, financially and socially. But as we have learned only all too well this past year and in recent days as we've watched the Me Too movement evolve and had to face the fact that some things just don't seem to change as we listen to the powerful testimony of Dr. Blasey Ford, who, by the way, had to overcome a fear of flying to give that testimony. We revealed how detrimental an impact misogyny and violence can have on the lives not just of women, but of society as a whole. Change lasts only if it comes from both the bottom and the top. Thus, while nearly 50% of many entry-level positions in aviation are filled by women, they disappear. And by the time we get to corporate boards, the percentages fall far short of parity. So how do we get there? We build pipelines. We build future leaders. That is what my own organization, the McGill University School of Continuing Studies, seeks to accomplish with our program in global aviation leadership. Our focus is on creating a pipeline of talent, on fostering the critical leadership competencies the industry wants and needs, whether to better understand organizational behavior, manage complexity, lead change strategically, leverage analytics, or communicate and network across an ever more diverse workplace. And we do so in the heart of one of the world's leading global aerospace industry hubs, Montreal, as well as through our partnership with the École Nationale de l'Aviation Civile, ENAC, in Toulouse, Europe's oldest aviation university, with whom we offer an advanced master's degree in strategic aviation leadership. Our goal, as yours is too here tonight, is to build the next generation of leaders in aviation who happen to be women. So what can you do to advance these goals? You are here, so you are already doing a lot. But the key is to seek out new knowledge, new skills, but also to be empowered and empower others to show your talent. Seek friends and allies among your peers, and remember to mentor those that follow you. Some of you will know, many of you in this room will know very well the sonnet High Flight, penned by Canadian John Gillespie McGee Jr., who was a World War I Royal Canadian Air Force pilot, which that poem now serves for many in aviation and space as a tremendous inspiration. But I want to leave you with these words here tonight as an inspiration for all women seeking new heights. Oh, I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings, Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds, and done 100 things you have not dreamed of, wheeled and soared and swung. Please seek out that which you have not dreamed of and soar. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.